Okay, class. Today we're going to do a Rethink Your Drink activity because so many, oh, I'm gonna turn that around. Because so many drinks have added sugars in them that we don't normally think about or we just don't pay attention to, and a lot of people consume and drink a lot of, pop, tea, even 100% fruit juice, packs in a lot of sugar. So I'm just gonna go over how much is in these beverages, and we're not thinking about what we need, like what the daily recommendations are, how much we're actually consuming, and then how it's absorbed and then why that makes it bad for us. Okay, so how sugar is absorbed. When you take in high amounts of sugar, like such that what you're gonna see that's in this tea or like a can of Pepsi, your liver goes crazy because it's all going in all at one time, and then your pancreas produces insulin, which is the hormone that stores the sugar for your body's energy. And say like an athlete, after you're done working out, all your glycogen stores that are in your muscles are depleted. So you want to have a readily available sugar source so it all gets absorbed right away. But when you're not in need of a sugar source, it just converts right into fat, and it collects in your liver or your abdominal area or anywhere else. So, and also high levels of insulin, they tell your brain that you're still hungry even though you're not. So that's bad also. And that's why you see type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, is an autoimmune disorder. But type 2 is when your body is resistant to the insulin, and you become that way because when you're taking in so much sugar and so much insulin is being produced, your body just eventually doesn't use it or doesn't utilize it. So, how much sugar? Now, this has 42 grams of sugar in the whole bottle. Yeah, that's a lot. And 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. So, this would have approximately, actually, if someone would like to be a volunteer and measure out how much sugar would be in this bottle, I'd appreciate it.
What? Okay.
Okay.
Wait, you said there's 42 grams?
Yeah, there's 42 grams in the whole bottle, so you just divide that by 4, so it would be about 10. Just measure out 10 teaspoons.
Oh, and this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's crazy to think how much sugar is actually. Sorry, I don't want you to lose.
No, you're fine. Okay, this is disgusting already. 6.
I like pure
7,
tea too.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't that look appetizing?
That's so gross.
Yeah. So there's 10 teaspoons of sugar just in this, bottle of tea, which I would drink the whole bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I could drink too. That it's just mindless that we don't pay attention to that. And that tea actually has the same amount of sugar as in 1 can of Pepsi, which, is a little over half that size. Also, that's what is in 1 12-ounce glass of 100% apple juice. So you think you're opting for apple juice, it's the better alternative, which it is in the sense that it has your vitamin C, antioxidants, but at the same time, the sugar in that tea, in that Pepsi, and in that apple juice is doing the same exact thing for your body. So and for kids, you give kids juice because you think it's going to be the healthier option, when really it's doing the same thing to them. It's rotting their teeth, it's setting them up for metabolic syndrome, obesity, type 2 diabetes, whatever. And then that's why if you're gonna do fruit or fruit juice, you really need to just stick with fruit, because when you do fiber, it slows down the rate of the absorption of the sugar. So you're not gonna get the high insulin spikes, and it'll just be a much slower absorption, so you're not gonna have high blood glucose levels. What else? Oh yeah. And the recommended amount for sugar is only 6 to 8 teaspoons a day, and there's 10 in that, and a glass of pop. That's not even. You go to a restaurant, you get more than a glass worth. So and we on average as Americans consume 32 teaspoons a day. So like, this is why there's so many problems with obesity, especially in children, because like I said, the whole juice thing. I know even at work, people come in and they order juice for their kids because they think it's going to be better, but really, you might as well just let them have Mountain Dew if you really think about it, because actually a can of Mountain Dew has less sugar than that. There's still a lot, but it's still less than that. What else? Oh, and what else? So the fatty liver aspect too, when you're doing excessive sugar intake, it can kind of act like an alcoholic, like they get the fatty liver and the start of the liver cirrhosis. And Corey's mom actually has that from drinking so much Pepsi all the time, like consistently. She has a fatty liver just from sugar when like she's not even an alcoholic. They thought she was because of the way her liver looks, and that's not the case at all. So that's all I really have to say. No, you need to write down 3 things you love.
Okay.
That was so short.
You say 68
Teaspoons.
teaspoons.
Yeah. I don't do that. You guys are good at this. Writing all these things.
Which is wonderful.
Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Is it worse to eat fat? Like, what turns into fat more?
The sugar turns
The
into
sugar.
fat. Yeah. Oh, and I want to talk about how addicting sugar is too. I watched in this documentary these rats that they were addicted to cocaine. Like they made them addicted to cocaine through their water bottles, and then they started introducing them to sugar. And when given the option, they actually chose the sugar over the cocaine. And like that's another reason. Like we're just so addicted to it. I mean, I know myself. You crave sweet, especially after dinner. Like you want sweet, but yeah, sugar's worse. It turns right into fat. The thing you want to watch out for, like fat, is the saturated fats, because
Just
that's
like deep fried things are really
right. That is what heightens your cholesterol and clogs your arteries and kills you.
Like the fat around your belly is pretty much sugar.
Yeah, basically. Anyone else have any
So I
questions?
think it'd be interesting to learn some nutrition.
It is. Oh, what'd you guys learn?
Oh.
One thing.
One thing, I said that a fatty liver can develop from too much sugar. I thought that was interesting because you think of it as an alcoholic, but not with like someone that consumes a lot of pop.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what fatty liver was. Okay. In the U.S., we get over 3 times the amount of daily intake of sugar that we're supposed to.
Yeah, it's a problem. Especially with kids. I mean, kids are given sugar all the time for unnecessary reasons too. Like you get an answer right, you get a piece of candy.
Yeah.
What's that teaching a child?
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that the sugar, like in the pop, now when it's diet, there's not sugar in it.
Right.
Like artificial sweeteners, right?
Right.
So could that also cause a fatty liver? Or
I'm
no?
not sure if it would cause the fatty liver, but I do know that your body can associate the artificial sweeteners as sugar, so it can still do the insulin spike, even though it's not real sugar.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about fatty liver.
That's interesting.
Maybe I have one more question. I technically have low blood sugar, so I get told that I need to eat like little things throughout the day, otherwise I pass out.
Right.
So, is my insulin, like what's going, I don't really know what's going on there. Do I need more sugar than a normal person?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because your insulin is what's going to take it, store it in your body, in your muscles, in your brain, so you can function. So you probably just need to eat more sugar.
Yeah.
That's a rare problem.
Yeah. I wish I